Yeah, I play Team Fortress 2. How did you know?
Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, currently performing an amazing balancing act, and I hope that you guys are having a great day. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the future and the fact that nobody can predict the future, at least not with any real success, I should say. There's plenty of people who think they can predict the future. They tend to be wrong sooner or later. But when it comes to the overall state of any given market, whether it's collectibles, cars, housing, stock, future, financing, a lot of it does come down to guesswork in regards to what you think a particular card or house or stock is going to be worth a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, a month from now, 10 years from now. You know, a lot of it does come down to guesswork. Educated guesswork, that is certainly true. A lot of people can spend a lot of time gathering as many data points as possible to try to create an informed decision for what they want to do with their money over a long enough period of time. When it comes to the collectibles market, every step of the process from getting a card from the company to the end consumer involves a lot of guesswork. Some of it well researched and educated, and others not. The company, at the very top of the chain, there's the company, right? The company producing the card game. And they have to guess how many people are going to want a given set. And that determines how much of a given set they print. They will use all sorts of data points to help them inform this decision based on tournament attendance for major events, sales history for similar sets, or even just recent sets, as well as overall. They can say that they don't all they want, but they do look at the secondary market as well, looking at secondary market sales for both singles and sealed product for a variety, for the entire history of their card game, basically. They will look at every data point they can to try to make an informed decision on how popular or successful they think a given product will be. The next step down on the chain here is the distributors. And most people tend to not think about the distributors, or at least they don't tend to think about them in terms of being an active part of the overall availability of product. But the distributors have to make a decision. You know, how popular do they think a set's going to be? How successful do they think a set's going to be? And how much do they think it's going to sell? But not just the set itself, but the individual stores buying the set. How good of a customer is this store going to be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now? And the distributors, they're going to use all sorts of data points to help them inform their decisions. Not only are they going to look at how well previous sets in a line have sold, they're also going to look at what you as a store have bought from them. If you're a store with a distributor, they're going to look at your purchase history to help them determine what they're going to allocate to you, how much of a product they're going to allocate to you. They're even going to use that information to determine if a product is even going to be made available to you to purchase. Because, believe it or not, getting access to a distributor does not always guarantee that you're going to have access to all of their products, all of the things that they are shipping out. And right underneath the distributors, there's the third link in this chain. And that is the stores, the direct-to-market sellers. Local game stores, online dealers. People tend to kind of acknowledge that an LGS is extremely important to the world of trading card games and collectibles in general. And at the same time, they tend to kind of gloss over how much time and effort a given LGS can spend trying to predict the future. You see, an LGS owner doesn't have infinite money, so guess what? They have to make informed decisions based on previous set sales, how well a product line has done, tournament attendance, etc. Now, they are in a slightly, in my opinion, more advantageous position than, for instance, a distributor would be, because they have a direct line of contact with their customers. A LGS owner who is familiar enough with his customer base can get direct information from them for how much of an upcoming product they want. That's not always going to work out. Pre-orders don't always hammer out the way you want. People will cancel, LGSs will cancel, availability, lack of interest. There's all sorts of problems there, but that is a tool that they have access to. But at the end of the day, an LGS has to try and make an informed decision for the future, to try and be as profitable as possible with what money they have. And then, of course, there's the final link in the chain, you and me and other people, the end consumers, the people buying this stuff from sellers on TCG Player or stores, whether it be LGSs, Walmart, etc. You know, a lot of us have to make guesses at the future. Is this going to be a set worth playing? Is it going to be a set worth collecting, investing? Do we think it's going to go up in price, down in price, etc.? There's a lot of guesses here, and some people can make very educated guesses, but at no point at any of these 4 chain links is anybody predicting the future. Because in any financial market, and I really need to stress this, in any finance discussion, you can't predict the future. You can be very confident. I'm going to say that right here. You can be very confident what's going to happen next in a market, okay? And you can believe in your heart of hearts that you know how things are going to play out for a given category, a specific product, a stock, a market, etc. It doesn't really matter, you know? But you can't 100% know it. Unless you're a crazy time traveler, in which case, hit me up. Let me know what tonight's lottery numbers are going to be. You know, predicting the future and guessing at the future are different things. No one can predict the future, but a lot of people can guess at the future. You know, Battle for Ataraxia was the 10th, I think, released set for the English Force of Will product line. It came out in 2016, I think. Could be wrong. And you can bet your bottom dollar that nobody at the company who worked on this product and okayed it for release, I think it's just called the Force of Will Company. I could be wrong about that too, though. Nobody at the Force of Will Company predicted that this would be a failure of a set. They probably thought it was going to be a slam dunk home run. It's got some really cool rares in it, but it flopped. It flopped hard. This is one of the most reviled, I shouldn't even say reviled, just disregarded sets in Force of Will history, alongside Vengolf 2, I want to say. Vengolf 2, I think sounds right. You know, a few years ago, I was able to buy 2 cases of Battle for Ataraxia for about $20 each, because nobody wanted it. Because Force of Will was wrong about their prediction for how successful this product was going to be. You know, when Konami released Lightning Overdrive, just a few years ago, they probably predicted that this was going to be a decent set. People would want it, and it would sell well. It's got a Black Rose Dragon in it, after all. A bunch of reprints, some new cards. It's got some good stuff in it. But it didn't do well. In fact, I'm willing to put the entire chain down to the stores. Thought it was going to do well. In fact, I know that whatever store bought this box thought it was going to do well because they still have their price tag on it for $80. I bought this box for $40. So it did not do that well. Where am I going with this? Why am I talking about failed products and predicting the future? Well, the thing is, while you can't predict the future, like some kind of seer in a video game or a movie, you can make some good guesses at what the future is going to hold. And when it comes to products like this, you can guess that it's not going to be a $40 box for very long, or a $20 case for very long, or that various products from various card games will stay at their price points after slumping, after being rejected by the market. You can also guess that, one particular card game isn't going to be as hot an item 2 years from now, 1 to 2 years from now, because printing will catch up with demand and the secondary market will cool down. And what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to the online discourse surrounding various card games, various TCGs, it's important to try and keep a level head and to not just blindly buy into any ideas you see online, and you should go into any decisions you're making with a level head and a bit of research behind it. Because if you're someone who's interested in parking money in a TCG as an investment, you're hoping that you will make money off of it, right? Well, if you guess wrong, you're going to lose money. Or maybe just not make money for a while, right? And the less informed you go into a decision, the larger the risk there is for you to make an incorrect guess. An unhelpful guess, at the very least. You could get right, you could get lucky a few times, just throwing darts at the wall and seeing what hits. Some of those are inevitably going to get a good hit, right? But if you make informed decisions, if you research a product, if you look at what's in the box and how much of that sealed product is available and what kind of things people might be interested in as various metagames evolve and change and retro formats come back and, people maybe turn their eyes away from certain card games to look at other card games, you can start to make educated guesses. Maybe not the most educated guesses, but you can start trying rather than guessing wildly. You can look at something and go, that box is only $35. There's a card in there that goes for over $100. It's a well-liked card. There's not an infinite amount of those boxes on the secondary market. How long do I think they're going to stay at $35? Those are the kind of questions you can ask yourself. And then you ask questions like, okay, but why is it $35? Isn't that card good? What else is in the set to make it basically unplayable? What's the pull rate of that card? Those are also questions you should be asking yourself. You should be critical not only of your initial guesses, but of your second guess as well. You should be double thinking every line of dialogue that goes into making your decisions. Now, you shouldn't be paralyzed by indecision. You should make your decisions, but they should be informed decisions. Double check your work. Make sure you're going into this with as many facts as you possibly can, because at the end of the day, the better informed a decision is, usually, not always, but usually, if your decision is well informed, rationalized, and well researched, things are going to work out better than if you were just blindly guessing. Of course, unless you were disgustingly lucky. But at the end of the day, that's all I want to say is try to be informed if you're looking to park money in something for a few years. But anyway, that's all I've got for you kids today. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, share the video, all that jazz. And remember, the world does not run on hearsay. It runs on, well, it just doesn't run on hearsay. Might run on gasoline, though. I'll see you guys in the next